Hello children, how are you all? Welcome to Lucid Study. This is Pratyusha and today in this session we are going to learn about a chapter called The Election Process in India ante భారతదేశంలో ఎన్నికల ప్రక్రియ which is chapter 16 from your class 10 social studies of Telangana state textbook. So children, basically yes, elections. Why do we need elections? So about this election process and election system we have even learnt in our previous classes if you remember. Just an extension to this is given in this lesson. Still more elaborately we are going to learn some points. Some points they were added and that we are going to study in detail. So this lesson we have already studied in our 8th class. So it is an extension to that lesson in which we are going to learn still some more points. So yes, elections. Why do we need them? How are these elections conducted? Who conducts these elections? What are the various steps that are involved in it? How do they help us? Why do we require them? So the answers for all these questions we are going to find out in this lesson. So now without any delay, let's quickly get into the objectives and see the aspects that we are going to study in this lesson. Yes, first and foremost we are going to learn about election system in India. So how is the election system there? How is it existing? So that we are going to learn about autonomous status for election commission. So autonomous status means here which is established by the government or run by the government for a specific purpose. So that status or that condition we call it as autonomous. So how is this autonomous status for election commission? That we are going to learn. Next, about chief election commissioner and election at different levels. So yes, what is the role or the importance of chief election commissioner? What are his functions? Next, how are these elections conducted at different levels? That we are going to learn. Next, about functions of election commission. Yes, these elections we have already learned that they are conducted by election commission. So what are the major important functions of this election commission? That we are going to learn. Next, about political parties in elections. So yes, the political parties which contest, which participate in these elections, about them also in detail we are going to learn. Next, about election code of conduct. Yes, some rules and regulations will be there. They will be set by the election commission. So it is nothing but known as code of conduct. So what are those rules and regulations? That we are going to learn. Next, about conducting rallies and public gatherings. Yes, as a part and process of campaigning, here rallies, ప్రచారం అంటాం కదా, ఎన్నికలప్పుడు ప్రచారం చేసుకోవడానికి గవర్నమెంట్ పర్మిషన్ ఇస్తుంది. సో ఏ పార్టీ వాళ్ళు వాళ్ళ పార్టీకి సంబంధించిన ప్రచారాన్ని చేస్తూ ఉంటారు. సో హియర్ హౌ ఆర్ దీస్ ర్యాలీస్ అండ్ పబ్లిక్ గ్యాదరింగ్? సో హియర్ పబ్లిక్, ఆల్ ద పబ్లిక్ దే విల్ బి గ్యాదర్డ్ ఎట్ వన్ ప్లేస్ and person or people belonging to that political party, they will be giving their speeches, they will be trying to motivate the people, they will be trying to create awareness among the people regarding their political party. దీన్నే ప్రచారం అని అంటాం కదా తెలుగులో, ఎన్నికలప్పుడు జరిగే ప్రచారం. So how are those rallies and public gatherings conducted? That we are going to learn. Next, about ruling party at the time of election. So yes, at the time of election, what is this ruling party and what is its importance? So ruling party ante enti, what does it do? That we are going to learn. Next, about voting mechanism. So yes, how is this process of voting it is done? So that also we are going to learn in detail. So yes, next, vote to reject, that is nota. Nota means none of the above. So this we have already learned in our previous classes. Still again, this concept again it is given in detail here in this chapter. So about this nota also we are going to learn. Next, about need for electoral reforms. What are these electoral reforms basically, and why is there need for these electoral reforms? That also we are going to learn. So now let's quickly get into the first aspect and see what it is. So yes, first and foremost we are going to learn about election system in India ante Bharata ఎన్నికల వ్యవస్థ. So yes children, India it is a very large democratic country. In our country the population is very huge, right? So in such vast populated country, in such a very huge populated country, it becomes very difficult for the public to come together at one place and take decisions. For this purpose only here we have election commission. So here the election commission it conducts the elections, and here after conducting the elections, the results it submits to the central government or state government. So here the election commission, it also frames some rules and regulations which are to be followed during this process of elections. అంటే క్యాంపెయినింగ్ అప్పుడు కానీ ఎలక్షన్స్ రోజు కానీ మొత్తం ఈ ప్రాసెస్ అంతట్లో కూడా డ్యూరింగ్ దిస్ ఎంటైర్ ప్రాసెస్ ఆఫ్ ఎలక్షన్స్, ఎన్నికలు జరిగే ఆ ప్రాసెస్ మొత్తంలో కూడా what are the rules and regulations that have to be followed or that have to be kept in mind both by the leaders of the political parties as well as by the people. So the rules and regulations the election commission it frames and it has to be followed by all the people. So here it is nothing but known as code of conduct. So in this way election commission it completely takes the responsibility of conducting elections, and after this conduction of elections it submits the results to the central government or state government. In this way it becomes very easy to form government. So this is all about election system in India. So yes, people, there are, as the population is very huge, it is not at all possible for all those people to gather at one place to participate in public decisions and to make final decisions. And as there are many number of people, obviously their views, opinions, mentalities would also be different. So whatever they are trying to say, their opinions, their decisions would also differ from one another. So to avoid all this, election commission it frames some rules and regulations and it conducts the elections and it submits the results to central or state government. So in this way government it will be formed. So this is all about election system in India. Now let's see the next one. So next we are going to learn about Election Commission of India, ante Bharata Ennikala Sangham. So here children, the Election Commission of India it first came into existence on 25th January 1950. So it is an autonomous constitutional body. Autonomous means here it is set up by the government, and here even though it has his power, it will be under the control of government. So here which is autonomous constitutional body. Autonomous means here which is established by a government for some specific purpose. So here it is, in this way it is an autonomous constitutional body, and here it prepares electoral rolls. That is, electoral rolls means here it is a list in which there will be names of the persons who have enrolled their names to vote. సో ఓట్ వేయడానికి అర్హత కలిగిన వాళ్ళందరి పేర్లు కూడా ఈ ఎలక్టోరల్ రోల్స్ అంటే ఈ లిస్టులో ఉంటాయి. సో దిస్ ఎలక్షన్ కమిషన్ ఇట్ ప్రిపేర్స్ దీస్ రోల్స్ అండ్ ఇట్ ఈవెన్ కండక్ట్స్ ఎలక్షన్స్ టు లోక్సభ, రాజ్యసభ, స్టేట్ లెజిస్లేటివ్ బాడీస్ అండ్ టు ప్రెసిడెంట్ అండ్ vice president. So this is all about the election commission of India. Now let's see the next one. So next we are going to learn about autonomous status for election commission, ante ఎన్నికల సంఘానికి స్వయం ప్రతిపత్తి. So here children, yes, if you observe this picture here, it is Election Commission of India logo. So here the logo it usually looks like this. So here this as we have already learned, our country India, it is a very hugely and largely populated country. So during the time of British rule there were only 14% of the people who had right to vote. And during the time of first general elections, that is in the year 1952, their number has increased. That is, there were 17.32 crore voters. Present situation, if you see here, the number of voters we have is still it has increased. From 17.322, it has increased to 67. So present we have 67 crore voters. So these many crores of voters we have now. So to conduct elections, hence in a country like India, it is a very complex and tough situation. That's the reason why Election Commission here, for conduction of these elections, here it utilizes 45 lakh staff members. So the number here, the number of voters is not at all less. Here it is 67 crores. 67 crores people, they have right to vote and they will vote. Inta janaba unna country lo elections ennikalu sarigga nirvahinchalanటే obviously the people who supervises this process, their number should also be more, right? That's the reason why here it has a staff of 45 lakhs. So this is all about autonomous status for Election Commission. Now let's see the next one. So next we are going to learn about Chief Election Commissioner, ante ప్రధాన ఎన్నికల కమిషనర్. So here children, so Chief Election Commissioner, he is the head of the Election Commission of India. So here Constitution, he is the head of Election Commission of India. It provides some powers to Chief Election Commissioner to conduct elections to state and central legislatures. So here our Indian Constitution which is there, it provides some powers to Chief Election Commissioner to conduct elections to state and central legislature in a very smooth and fair manner. And here he or she, that is Chief Election Commissioner, they are usually from Indian Civil Services. So initially there was only one election commissioner, but a 3-member commission, it came into existence in the year 1993, and from then there was one chief election commissioner and the other 2 election commissioners. So one person, he was the most important, that is he was the head, that is chief election commissioners, and the other 2 people, they were election commissioners. So in this way 3-member commission, it came into existence in the year 1993. And here there was a person called as T.N. Seshan. So after this person, he has taken up this responsibility of conducting election. This election commission which is there, it has become very popular. So he has taken all the steps and measures to avoid corruptions and malpractices which were happening in the process of elections. And here, because of all his efforts, because of all his measures which he has taken, this election commission, it got nationwide recognition. And so here, because of the various steps and measures which was taken by this person called T.N. Seshan, here this election commission which is there, so because of all the efforts and measures of T.N. Seshan, there was a nationwide recognition to the powers of election commission. So what are the various powers of election commission? What does it do? What are its various functions? What is it capable of doing? What is it majorly responsible? So regarding all these aspects of election commission, related to election commission, there was nationwide recognition. So all the peoples very soon, they got to know very clearly about election commission. So in this way, T.N. Seshan, he had played a very important role in popularizing and improving this election commission, in improving the functions of election commission. This is all about the Chief Election Commissioner. Now let's see the next one.